Hello there guys, Wayne here from Luna's World. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today's video we're going to be taking the Aerosoft CRJ out for a spin. This is going to be a full flight. We're going to fly from Kongen International down to Don Mueang International in Bangkok. So looking forward to it. Let's just have a quick look around the outside of the aircraft. Absolutely stunning. Very well done in terms of texturing and all the good stuff. Really beautiful. A lot of detail here. Fantastic sounds. All the is that the APU door? I think it is. Anyway, so this is really the first, apart from the fly-by-wire, study level jet liner available in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I'm really looking forward to giving this a try. So I'm not an expert in this aircraft. I have done a couple of flights successfully, but I am going to get flows and things wrong. We're going to try and sort of refer to the checklist, but again, I'm not religiously going to be doing everything. So while we're here, let's have a look at what's available. If we go to the aircraft section, this is where we can open doors and stuff here. Ground power, service doors and all that kind of stuff. We've got a maintenance tab. Options where you can fiddle about with the actual core sim and change things like IRS alignment time and weight units and things like that. So pretty invaluable. Now this performance page is probably the most valuable page in terms of what it can do. We will be checking out that very shortly. So yeah, the weather here today is stormy, some precipitation right now. Winds are not too bad, but yeah, once we get into or near to some storm clouds, we're going to get some turbulence. So we're going to kind of assume that the passengers are boarding, so we're going to just get this thing set up into our configuration. We are in a turnaround state. You can do that by changing the default state here. So this is a turnaround state where we're connected up to ground power. All the major safety checks have been done, walkarounds and things. So really, we've got to just program the flight computer. That was my controller just dropping to the floor, and do basically all the interesting stuff. So let's get started. So I'm going to go to the performance initialization page. And the first thing we need to do is tell the computer where we are. I recommend you copy the GNS coordinates here, go back and paste that into that scratch pad. And that is now securely put us on the map, and you can see where we are. We go ahead and check out our flight plan. Now, I've already generated a flight plan in SimBrief, so I'm going to load that in by typing in the ICAO codes of the two airports. So we're going from Kongen over to VT Don Mueang, which I believe is it BD? Yeah. Okay, and when we execute that, you can see that it's put in our route and it's fully loaded the route in. What we do need to do though is check our just check our legs and make sure that there's no discontinuities, and there is one there at U-Blood. And we'll execute that. Let's go to page 3. Everything else is looking good. We haven't set we've set the departure, but we haven't set the arrival just yet. So we'll do that in flight, I think, and adjust the flight plan as we need to. So it will probably take us as far as vectors. So let's just go ahead and, wrong one, check. So we're going to step through the plan here on the planning mode. We're going to go to MFD Advanced, and we can step through our entire flight plan and just make sure there's no crazy turns or anything that looks untoward. It looks fine. So I'm happy with that for now. Let's just go back to, well, go to the legs page actually. Okay, so with that done, we can start to sort out the passengers and things. So why don't we turn on the passenger signs, no smoking, and we'll come up and we'll start the APU. Oh, it already is started actually, so we're already running on the APU. So we'll disconnect ground power and we'll turn our nav on, and just get my view sorted out here. We'll go ahead and turn on our fuel pumps, window heat, and probes as well. We are going to need anti-ice, but I'll do that a bit later on. We'll turn our emergency lights on, and I think we'll go for a engine start. We'll get some kind of a pushback, I guess. I'm just using the default pushback service, which is not ideal. Oops.
Concane ground November 613 Quebec X-ray with Mike request taxi for takeoff, touch and go.
November 613 Quebec X-ray taxi to and hold short of.
Okay, tune ground. We want
Concane Air.
Taxi to and hold short runway 03 via taxiway.
Kind of not what I wanted to do, actually. I wanted ground services.
Concane Airport information, November 030002. Wind 271 at 8. Visibility 6 and rain.
That's what we want.
Concane ground November 613 Quebec X-ray requesting pushback.
November 613 Quebec X-ray pushback request accepted.
Okay, so we are going to steer to the left.
Concane ground November 613 Quebec X-ray requesting pushback to steer the aircraft to the left.
Oh, I didn't close this door.
November
Better do that.
613 Quebec X-ray
And
request
remove the
accepted.
chocks.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
on behalf of the captain and
Right, so
crew,
we'll go
welcome
ahead
to
and
flight.
start the
We hope
engine.
you
We'll start
enjoy
engine
flying with us. Before
number,
takeoff, we would like
turn
to
our
encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew
hydraulics to
display the
auto.
safety features of the aircraft.
Engine 1 looks like it's starting. There we go. So we're waiting for 20% N2 before we flip this red lever down here and add in the fuel. There's 20%. We'll just watch the rest of that. We should be getting a start there. Yeah, that's looking good. Just going to keep an eye out on where it's taking us. Okay, actually that's pretty decent right there, so I'll request pushback stop.
Concane ground November 613 Quebec X-ray requesting the end of pushback.
Set the parking
November
brake.
613 Quebec
Okay, now we'll start
X-ray
engine
request
number
taxi
2, or number 1, sorry.
in case of an emergency. During an
My
emergency,
beacon
please
should be
remain
on.
in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the evacuation of the aircraft, the walkway emergency lights will display to the exits, which are located here and here. In case of an extreme
Right.
emergency landing, you'll be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head.
Okay,
We
that's
would
all
also
looking
like to
good.
remind
Let
you that
me
you should turn off all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention
go back
during
to
this
our
brief
normal map view.
presentation.
Okay. Okay, the next thing we can do then is our fuel. Now I'm not going to worry too much about this. I'm just going to go with what's here and set that into the simulator, and also copy the performance data over to the FMS. We'll also do our takeoff speeds, and that's all done for us, which is very, very handy, very quick and very easy to do. Okay, so everything's good there, and we have 2 engines started, so we are ready to taxi. Let's turn our reverse thrusters on, engage our nose wheel, and also engage yaw dampers, stab trim and mark trim, and we are all good to go. I guess we could do a flight surfaces check here. So full left, full right, full up, full down, all looking good. We need to put in our trim, which is 7.2. So while we're here, we'll just adjust trim for takeoff. That's now set. Go back to our main primary display here. We'll set flaps now. Flaps 8. Takeoff for today. Cool, and we'll do the rest once we are holding short of the runway. So yeah, let's taxi on out. So releasing the parking brake, and we are supposed to taxi under, keep the engines under 30%, which is quite hard to do, so I'm probably not going to be able to do that. Okay. All right, let's have a look outside. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oops. As he taxis off into the grass. Okay, now we did have some traffic. There's traffic there, so we will hold short and let him or her get out of the way. I'll have to go round us. I think he's trying to come off here. Is he taking off? Not sure. Anyway, we'll do our checks and we'll just make sure that we're all set up here. So I will refer to the checklist for this. So before takeoff checks, yeah, strobes need to be on. We'll do landing lights once we get clearance to enter the runway. Cross flow needs to be on. Let's see, transponders, yeah, assumed set. Radar is not set. Let's have, we should have weather really, I guess, on this one. Where is the weather actually? I thought it was here. There we go. Okay, so radar is on here. That's fine. We're all good to go there. Now, so the next thing we need to do is flight director on, and then we click this top button here to get the takeoff indicator here, so that it helps us to pitch up for 15 degrees when we take off. So another thing we'll do is we'll just have a look at our legs page. We'll see our initial climb. So I think what we'll do is set to 15,000 feet. again, this is purely just to help us manage. This thing climbs like a rocket, especially initially, so we want to be able to keep that under control. I'm sure I'm missing some things, but anyway, we've got no advisories on here. That aircraft is maybe waiting for us, so I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and enter the runway. Taxi lights off, landing lights on, and yeah, we'll go ahead and start backtracking. Get the show on the road. Okay. Right, is there anything else we need to do? Not in terms of checklists. I think we're sorted. Oh, for some reason my spoilers were out. Okay, so in terms of the takeoff, what we'll do is we'll stabilize the engines at 50%. We'll then go into toga mode. We'll push forward on the yoke to just keep the stability there. 18 knots will release the yoke. We'll start to pull up at V speeds, and then gear up. Retract the flaps at the appropriate speeds. We'll engage nav and speed again just to help us visually, and then once we're above 600 feet we'll engage the autopilot. In fact, I'm not going to engage the autopilot that early. We'll fly up to about 1,000 feet. Maybe even more. We'll do a little bit of hand flying just to get a feel for the aircraft. That's what we're here for. Okay, so I think we are ready to go. Flaps are set and indicated. Landing lights are on. All of our information is in, and passengers and cabin crew have been briefed. So let's do it. So here we go, 50%. And we are stable, so we'll go up to toga. I knew that would happen. It's very sensitive, the spoilers. Right, pushing down on the yoke here as we gain some speed. There's 60 knots. 80 knots, trying to hold the center line, releasing that yoke back nice and gently. The nose will naturally come up on its own, and then we'll just give a little bit of back pressure to bring us securely off the ground. There's positive rate. Gear up. Pulling back to maintain 15 degrees. Oh dear, never mind. A little bit bumpy. Okay, retrim here. Right, there's our altitude restriction. And we're going to bring the throttle back. We'll go flaps 1. Just following the flight director as much as possible. Keeping everything nice and under control. Okay, now let's go ahead and engage autopilot now. Nav and speed.
Sync rate.
I'm quite sure why we're descending there.
seat rate.
That's a bit weird.
1,000.
I think it's the... Okay, let's go flaps
Too
up.
low. Terrain.
Yeah, I think... What on earth is it doing? Just going to monitor this for a second, guys. It's a bit weird. Back off the throttle. We don't want to bust 250 knots. Okay, we're going to increase our altitude now all the way up to our cruise altitude, which is, I believe, 30,000 feet. Yeah. So let's finish doing that. A bit fiddly to see. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. 30,000 feet set. Okay, right. Let's go to vertical speed mode because I'm not quite sure what is going on here.
Terrain.
What the hell is this thing doing? Okay. Right, I've obviously made some mistakes there. Feel free to point them out. I'm not fully comfortable with the autopilot system, as you can probably tell. I think now we're on our way. So yeah, this doesn't have auto throttle, so you've got to really stay on top of the power management, which is why it's really useful to use speed bug. Okay, that's looking good. So yeah, climbing up to flight level 170, and then after Osaki up to 30,000 feet for our cruise altitude. Alright, about to pass 10,000 feet, so we'll get ready on the lights. There's 10,000, so landing lights are going off now, and it's fairly smooth, so we'll let the passengers out, go and have a pee or whatever. So let's go to the climb checklist now. So fuel X-flow needs to be on auto. And what else do we have to do? Bleed and APU is set. Reverse thrusters can go off now. And CAS is checked. Okay, so that is our climb checklist done. All is looking good so far. Let's pop outside and have a wee little gander. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Beautiful, beautiful aircraft. Inside and out. Isn't that great? I'm just slowing down my translation there. Gorgeous. Go and have a look at the engines. Engine horn. Beautiful. Turbulent as we go through this cloud. What is that like in the cockpit? Not too bad. Yeah, we've got some turbulent weather ahead, so I think I'll just get the passengers sat down while we get through this cloud. What I didn't do was turn on the anti-ice. Damn it, I forgot about that. Never a good thing. Oops. Window heat as well. So, yeah, good job I saw that indicated. Is there any evidence of ice? There isn't actually, so far. Luckily not. Got it just in the nick of time. Okay, we should actually be above everything now. Anyway, we'll leave it on just in case. We never know. So here we go, climbing up a nice steady pace, 2,000 feet per minute. And since we're above 10,000, we can actually increase our speed here. Go to max just to feed us along. So yeah, the way it manages the speed is through the pitch. You'll see the nose dip there in order to speed up the aircraft. So now we're not climbing. Oh, we're starting to climb again now. Okay, let's see how that handles it. There is a page somewhere which will why hasn't this been inputted? Okay, I'm not sure why that didn't go through. Let me try that again. Copy. Yes. have we lost our flight plan? What? Don't know what I did there. Okay, let's get that back, please. I've messed it all up. What's it trying to do now? Okay, I am going to delete this, and execute that. Actually, we are going to delete that. Okay, I think we're back on track. We are descending there, so that's not good. Alright, panic averted. We're fine. All is fine. Yeah, quirky. Not that it's quirky, I'm just not particularly used to this aircraft fully yet. So I'll definitely be doing things that are wrong, questionable, and all of the above. Okay, let's go ahead and set our approach. So we are going to do an ILS. We're not actually going to use an ILS, but we'll go into ILS 21 left. And since we are, we'll go to use the Tawan transition and execute that in. And again, why are we not? Let me just let's just get on up to our cruise altitude. What was I going to do? Yeah, so just want to check that flight plan at the, especially at the end. So I'm going to click over to the plan view. Just make sure there's nothing funky going on. Next waypoint, next waypoint. Oh. Okay, I think that looks alright. Okay, we'll delete Tawan, that transition, that's not needed. Okay, so that's a little edit we need to do there. We also need to take care of... Oh. Okay, I'm pretty sure we don't need that. And there's a duplication there. I'll put that in. That. Okay, now where was, let's go to the next page. We are going to delete that transition, and that should clean that up nicely. Yeah, that's looking much better. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go back to our legs page then. So flight level 22,000 feet now, that's changed for some reason, so let's readjust that. So this is a very, very messy flight so far. Okay, speed brakes out. And let's reduce the throttles as well, that might help. And let's get back on our map view. Where is it? There we go. Okie dokie. Alright, speed brakes going back in. And we are stable again, once again. Stable flight, it's always a good thing. But yeah, I'm not sure why we're flying at 22,000 feet, that's right in the cloud. Anyway, whatever. Let's give our passengers a bumpy ride, why not? Okay guys, so I think I'll leave you with a bit of beautiful music and some nice outside views, and I'll bring you back at the top of descent. we just made a little turn there onto Endu. So we need to start descending down to 16,000 feet. So we'll go ahead and just put that in. Descent has already started, so to come back off of this. 16,000 dialed in. And yeah, maybe a little speed brake here just to help out. Reduce that speed before we hit the overspeed. And did I turn the passenger signs back on? We did. I'm just going to ding it again just to warn the cabin that we're probably going to experience some turbulence here. And let's just go to the checklist, the descent checklist. Landing elevation, we'll do, if I can find the information. Fuel is checked, TCAS set, radar is on, landing data, okay. And let's go to our landing data. So this has already been done based on the information that we've put in. So we're going to set here. So VREF of 140 knots and V2 as 148, which will be set in here already. So that's all good. Why are we ascending? No idea. No, we're not now. Okay. Yeah, definitely some quirks with the autopilot. We're going to go down to 14,000 feet now. Need to be above 14, at or above 14,000 feet at this airway in 7 miles. So yeah, I mean that's fine. We're gonna get to 14,000 feet just after, so that's fine. Right, let's go. Speed brakes up now. And at Oprah we need to be at 12,000. So we need to speed up our descent rate. Okay, now we're okay. So let's change this down to 12,000 actually. That will give us an indication as to whether what action we need to take. Guessing we are going to need to speed up the quite considerably. So we'll go to vertical speed and we'll is it not letting me? Not sure. Yeah, definitely need to familiarize myself more with the operating of the autopilot. It's that is selected the FMS vertical. Ah, okay, I think that's what I want. So now I should be able to Still not letting me. Okay, I'm just going to let it do its thing. Obviously knows what it's doing. And at this stage, I feel I would probably just mess things up if I fiddle around too much. Don't think we're going to make this. We're not according to plan. You can see it's okay. Let's reduce this down to 9,000 feet, which is our next target. Yeah, it's giving me no control at all. Oh, that's better. Okay, I think I have control now. Alright, speed breakdown. Oh, that's crazy. Let's not scare the passengers. What is it doing? What the hell is it doing? That's one way of doing it, I guess. What the hell? I'm not quite sure what happened there. Definitely broke things. Alright, we are below 10,000 feet here, so we need to not tell the CAA that we're 300 knots. Just change our speed now to 220. Yeah, I haven't got the fine controls that I need over the autopilot just yet. Definitely need to study more. Out of my depth a little bit, but hopefully we'll manage it in a way that we won't die. Okay. The most important thing, I think, is managing the speed. Altitude seems to be kind of taken care of for the most part. Although we should be at 9,000 feet now, but anyway. So, Aorca. We're going to need to be at 5,000 feet. And then from there on in, we're going to be visual, I hope. Just looking at the clouds. And it's not looking great, actually, is it? I'd say they're about 3,000 feet. Yeah, that second layer. So we'll see, but that's the plan. brakes up. Oh, not bad. Alright, I'm going to make this sharp left-hand turn now. Shouldn't we be descending? Why are we ascending? What is it doing? I don't get it. Let's do it ourselves then. Reset heading. Alright, on our way down to 5,000 feet then. And hopefully we're going to be below those clouds for a visual landing. I mean, this aircraft is a joy to fly, it really is. It's beautiful once you get the hang of it. I've just got a bit more work to do, but I'm loving the process, and I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, you know me, I'm not a fan of putting out only perfect, polished tutorial style videos, because I just don't have the time to learn all of these aircraft. You know, I would say proficient in a couple, namely the 737 and probably the Piper Arrow, and also, well, the CT2K, which is an ultralight. But the rest, they're kind of learning curves for me, you know, and pretty steep ones at that. So in terms of learning the numbers and everything, I mean, that's a whole other ball game. I just don't have time to fully absorb into each and every aircraft that I get, because, you know, I want to be able to review you know, different aircraft, because it's fun. But in terms of my own practice, my own sort of ambition, it's really to master like maybe 2 or 3 aircraft, and, you know, not worry too much about the rest, and just enjoy the flying experience. Alright, we're going to reduce our speed down to 190 knots, and we will reduce down to 2.6 there, and we are going to just go for a bit more of a gentler descent rate here, because we are looking good. So once we make that turn onto this airway, BD 11.1, we've got basically 9, almost 10 miles, nautical miles to then get configured. So we'll make that turn, we're going to gear down flaps 1, and then as we start to descend from 2.6 down to 1,600 feet, we'll go through the flap, normal flap procedure. Disconnect the autopilot once we have runway in sight, and and hopefully be on the ground in Bangkok in no time at all. That is the plan. I think it's a mighty fine plan. Okay, so let's go to checklists again. Before landing checks, passenger signs are on, I think, already, because we had that little bit of rough weather. Reverse thrusters need to be armed again. Go ahead and do that. 1,000 feet to go. Yep, landing gear and flaps as needed. Right, just watching our speed. Give it a little bit more power. Try and maintain that 190 knots. Okay, about to make that turn any second. Now you can see here we've got the snowflake and the blue dot there. This is our descent profile, so that's how on course we are. So we're looking good. So there's our turn. We're going to go gear down now. Flaps 1. Runway is in sight. So what I'm going to do is let it stabilize out of this turn. Flaps 8 now. And then we'll go ahead and yeah, disconnect the autopilot. Get us on the ground, hopefully. Right. Okay, let's go to our VREF speed, 148. Just as a visual cue. Okay, and we will disconnect now. Flaps 30. Watching our descent rate there. Got a rain band right over the airfield right now. So making small adjustments. I'm going to turn my flight directors off. I would call this a semi-stable approach, so we'll go ahead and flaps 45, passenger oxygen on. Don't know why that is. Okay. Let's not worry about that. We're trying to land an aircraft here. Let's get rid of the caution. Ooh, what's happening?
1,000.
Sure what's happening with the scenery there. Alright, too slow, come on. Very stuttery on final as it loads in all the
500.
scenery, which is an absolute pain. I really hate that. What is it doing? Slippery aircraft.
Sync rate.
Can't quite get this to
Sync rate.
do what I want it to do.
Sync rate.
Ooh, dearie me. Very, very
Sync rate.
bumpy landing, this one. All right.
100.
Stable, landing, continue, all that stuff.
50, 40, 30, 20.
And it's a long one.
10.
There we go. All right, front nose wheel down, please. Okay, and I haven't got my reversers set up, so I'm going to burn out the brakes. There we go. Welcome to Bangkok. We made it. Yay.
Please
Right.
remain seated
Let's
until
clean
the
up.
aircraft has come to a complete stop.
We'll come off
Please
here.
remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
All right. APU is already started, so let's turn off our nose lights, landing lights going on, and I think we'll park. Yeah, that's GA that way, so we'll park around this way. So yeah, I mean, a flight not without problems, that's for sure. But enjoyable nonetheless. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I've still got a way to go learning this. Just managing the autopilot for me right now is something I need to focus on. That's a really basic thing that I should have more together. But alas, that is where we're at. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this flight. I certainly have. This is a great aircraft. Aside from the fly-by-wire, I would say definitely the most highly detailed aircraft in terms of systems and, you know, this sort of higher level of functioning. It doesn't just look good, it flies good as well. And like I said, the systems management is really good, really worth checking out if you like flying tube liners. And I do like flying tube liners. It's a bit of a, you know, people say, why don't you, you're a GA guy. I mean, I suppose I am mostly, but I do love flying big jets as well. I think we have gone to the wrong end of the airport here. Never mind. Let's just go over somewhere over here. There we go. Don't have to worry too much. We're not on Pilot Edge or VATSIM or anything like that. So, yeah, let's do a little bit of a shutdown here. So, anti-ice, parking brake set, seatbelts, I guess we can turn off. Anti-ice going off. Oops. What else have we got? Thrust levers shut off. Oops. There we go. Fuel pumps off. Oops. Inop. There we go. Beacon off. And no steering to off. Good. Yeah, probes off as well. Sorry, should have done that before. Done this in a very backward order. Okay, that's fine. And then terminating, all that is left is chocks, brakes, IRS, and all that stuff, which we won't bother with. So, good. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Please do let me know in the comments if there's anything massive that I've missed. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff. I'm by no means an expert flying this, as you can tell. But nevertheless, I did enjoy it. I learned quite a lot along the way. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it too. Thanks for your support. Thanks for tuning in. and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.